being the last pick to being Mr. Top Dog, from Mr. Irrelevant to becoming the most surprising talent in the NFL, this is the story of Brock Purdy, a 7th-round draft pick who not only snagged a staggering role, but steered his team into the playoffs and won game from Super Bowl his very first season. So, how did he end up beating the odds, and what's the secret sauce that makes him so special? Well, let's find out in this epic quarterback journey. I promise you, this one is a story you can't afford to miss. Purdy grew up in a small town in Arizona, harboring a deep passion for football from a young age. He blossomed into a bona fide high school phenom, breaking records left and right while earning all kinds of accolades for his pinpoint accuracy and sneaky athleticism. But despite all of his eye-popping stats and success, the big-time blue blood program still doubted Purdy's abilities. Nick Saban and the almighty, if you can even call it that, Alabama team offered him a scholarship, but basically bluntly told Purdy that he was too small and lacked any sort of NFL-level arm strength and accuracy. Well, that brutal honesty ignited an intense competitive fire deep down inside of Purdy and was determined to prove all the naysayers dead wrong and make them eat their words. So instead of opting for Bama, Purdy chose to ball out at Iowa State in the jam-packed Big 12 Conference. And boy, oh boy, did he ever live up to that underdog mentality. Whenever he set foot on campus, he knew that there was work to be done. He was a fresh-faced 3-star recruit, no earlier enrollment under his belt, and he had to share the QB spotlight with the talented Real Mitchell, who was quite a force himself, coming from St. John Bosco in California. But Brock Purdy was no slacker. Day one, he hit the ground running, sprinting solo in the program's indoor facility, showing the kind of grit that drew other freshmen to his orbit in just a few days. That spoke volumes about his leadership and charisma. He started his freshman year as a 3rd-string quarterback, knowing his shot at playing was a long shot at best. Then came week 6, the game changer. The team's main guy, Kyle Kempt, got sidelined during an injury, and Purdy's number was up. The backup, Seb Nolan, wasn't cutting it, so Purdy got his big chance. Against Oklahoma State, he came off the bench as a freshman with a mission, and boy oh boy did he deliver. 4 out of the 5 games ended in touchdowns, and he racked up 317 passing yards, 4 TDs, and even a pick. Not too shabby for a guy stepping in from the sidelines. It was definitely a game changer for sure. And notching his very first collegiate win as a starter in just a couple of weeks later, Purdy never gave back the job. For 4 incredible seasons, the so-called quote-unquote under-recruited Purdy led Iowa State to winning record after record and bowl after bowl appearances, bringing a level of excellence that the program hadn't seen in ages. Along the way, he made history shattering 32 school records, including marks for career passing yards, passing TDs, and wins as a starting quarterback. This guy was dropping dimes. But despite his insane production, there was many stubborn NFL scouts who were questioning him with his size and arm talent, leaning to be a pivotal low draft projection. And on draft day, Purdy was waiting around depressed as his phone remained silent. That was until finally the 49ers grabbed him with a very last-minute pick to make him Mr. Irrelevant. Talk about disrespected. Purdy arrived in San Fran with an enormous chip on his shoulder, but also eager to work his tail off. The 49ers had traded a fortune to draft Trey Lance 3rd overall as their so-called quarterback of the future. Jimmy Garoppolo was still on the roster too after leading the Niners to the Super Bowl just 2 seasons prior. But Purdy didn't care about any of that outside noise. As a 3rd stringer, he stayed patient and prepared every single week like he was going to be the starter. He devoted every extra hour to mastering Kyle Shanahan's complex playbook and picked the brains out of every veteran quarterback day in and day out. When Garoppolo eventually suffered a season-ending foot injury, Purdy's number was called to take the huddle, and boy oh boy has he delivered in the clutch for the red-hot Niners. In his first NFL start against a stout Buccaneers defense, Purdy outdueled the legendary Tom Brady, tossing 2 scores in a 35-7 annihilation. And with that, he became the first rookie quarterback ever to beat Brady in his first start. How's that for an introduction? After completely embarrassing the mighty Bucs, Purdy remained utterly unflappable, leading the Niners to 4 more regular season victories in a row. Even at one point, He broke a record for the most consecutive completions by a rookie quarterback. With Mr. Irrelevant dealing like a Joe Montana, Niners locked up the NFC West and entered the playoffs, stamped as a very dangerous Super Bowl contender. In the wildcard run against Seattle, though, Purdy led yet another masterclass, showcasing throwing over 300 yards and commanding Kyle Shanahan's offense like a savvy 10-year All-Pro vet. And just like that, the so-called Mr. Irrelevant became one of the hottest young superstars in all of football virtually overnight. His rags to riches, Cinderella-like journey from overlooked 7th rounder to playoff hero has captured headlines nationwide. But the question still remains, could this diamond-in-the-rough rookie really take San Fran all the way? In a hard-fought playoff classic against Dallas, Purdy showed emphatically that he was absolutely for real by exploding for over 300 yards of total offense and making one clutch throw right after another. His magical scrambling and rocket arm just had the Niners one win away from the Super Bowl. The Brock Purdy hype train was going supersonic. This ended up setting the stage for an absolutely epic NFC Championship showdown with Jalen Hurts and the high-powered Philadelphia Eagles. Get this, through nearly 2 full quarters, Purdy was actually outplaying the MVP frontrunner Hurts and staked the Niners to a 7-0 lead. Seriously, it was incredible to watch. But then, disaster struck. On a scramble, Purdy suffered a devastating elbow injury when he got drilled by Pro Bowler Hazen Reddick. And just like that, Purdy's storybook run was put on hold in the blink of an eye. Without their rising star quarterback, the Niners faded down the stretch and came up just 1 game shy of the big game. A truly bittersweet inning for Purdy, who had captivated us all with his profound impact. Now, while the injury was a massive gut punch, Purdy still displayed the poise, the pinpoint accuracy, and even the big playing ability of a future franchise quarterback way beyond his years in his first season. He earned the immense respect from both his teammates and coaches, who raved on about his consistency, leadership, and flat-out stellar play during the team's unforgettable run. Kyle Shanahan confirmed that Purdy will make his return to clear out quarterback 1 on the depth chart, at least once he gets fully healthy. And I mean, how could you not give him the keys after everything that he's proven? The kid silenced his critics in downright historic fashion. He took the league by storm and pretty much became a household name. Brock Purdy's name no longer carries irrelevant connotations whatsoever. Nowadays, he's viewed as one of the most promising and electrifying young franchise quarterbacks in the entire NFL universe. His elite accuracy, quick processing, pocket presence, and knack for clutch moments have made 49ers fans dreaming of yet another Lombardi trophy. So, what does the future hold for Purdy in San Fran? Will his magical 2022 run be remembered as a temporary Cinderella tale, or maybe the beginnings of a spectacular Hall of Fame career? One thing's for sure, no one will ever underestimate Purdy again. His name deserves mention right up there with Brady and Warner among legendary underdog turnaround quarterbacks who took the league by storm. Simply put, Purdy is just getting warmed up and scratching the surface on what could be a decade-plus journey filled with greatness. In this season alone, Purdy has been setting the NFL ablaze as he suits up for the San Francisco 49ers, making Shanahan and the whole gang trust him big time. He's been a yardage-gaining machine, tossing touchdowns left and right, and with just one tiny hiccup on the interception front. His quarterback rating? Well, let's just say it's actually higher than most folks' hopes on game day. And even when he stumbled a bit in week 6, his game's been nothing short of incredibly miraculous. And that future franchise quarterback label? Yeah, he's wearing it pretty well. Purdy's scripting a story for the ages, and we're all tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please do us a solid and smash that like button. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our other great videos.